Hello, boys and girls. So our next lesson is going to be all about triangles. And I think it's kind of a fun lesson because I just think triangles are really cool. And I loved learning about them whenever I was your age. And now I love teaching about them. So what we have to remember about a triangle is that a triangle has three sides and it has three corners or three angles. Well, if I took each angle of my triangle and if I cut them off, what would all of the angles equal together? I don't know if you remember this or not because it's been a long time since we've learned about it. But if I took my three angles from my triangle and if I put them all together, what does it form? What do you notice here in the blue? It forms a straight line. That's right. So all three angles of the triangle, when you put them together, it forms a straight line. And whenever you form a straight line, who remembers what degree that equals to? That's right. A straight line equals 180 degrees. So I'll write that down so we can remember because it's very, very important. A straight line equals 180 degrees. That's very important to know because all of the angles of a triangle will equal 180 degrees. So if I know that all the angles added up together equals 180, if I know what if two angles equal and I'm missing the third one, then I know that all I have to do is add my two angles together, then subtract it from 180. For example, let's pretend like this angle is 60 degrees and this angle right here is 60 degrees and I'm missing this third angle. I know that all the angles of a triangle equal 180. So if I add up my two 60s together, I get 120 degrees. Well, if I know I need to equal 180 degrees, then what I need to do is take my 180 degrees and subtract the 120 degrees, and what do you get left over? 0 from 0 is 0, 8 minus 2 is 6, 1 minus 1 is 0. So my last angle right here is going to equal 60 degrees. This is what you're going to be doing in this lesson. We're going to be learning about different types of angles. We're going to be learning about triangles, different types of triangles. We're going to be learning about acute triangles. We're going to be learning about right triangles and obtuse triangles. And they are exactly just like whenever we learned about angles. You're going to be solving to figure out what the missing angle is, and you're going to do it exactly the way I showed you right here. So if you open up your math book to page 251, you'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's make sure I get my page on the screen. Okay, an acute triangle, all the angles measure less than 90 degrees, just like when we talked about acute angles. A right triangle means that at least one of the angles measures 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle means that one angle measures greater than 90 degrees. So right here on numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to be classifying your triangle. Is this an acute triangle, obtuse triangle, or right triangle? And then you're going to be solving to find out what your missing angle is. So I'm going to do the first one with you. And then I'm going to let you work on the other three by yourself. And I'll post another picture or video with the correct answers. That way we can check ourselves. So on number 1, I'm looking at my triangle. And I notice I see this little red square in the corner here. That little red square means that it has a 90-degree angle. So if it has a 90-degree angle, then that means this is a right triangle. So you're going to classify this as right. And now we're going to solve for this missing angle. I know that a right angle is 90 degrees. So if I know 90 degrees and 40 degrees, then I can solve this problem. I need to subtract the whole problem from 180 because all three angles added together equals 180. So right now I'm going to put in my first two angles. We have 90 degrees plus 40 degrees. And we're going to subtract that from 180, and we don't know the answer yet. So let's move down to our next line. We can say 90 plus 40, that gave me 130. And we're subtracting that from 180 degrees. When you subtract that from 180 degrees, I'll do it over here on the side. 180 minus 130. 0 from 0 is 0. 8 from 3 is going to be 5. And 1 from 1 is 0. So my missing angle is going to be 50 degrees. I want you to go ahead and work on numbers 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to move down to the bottom. So let's talk about the bottom here. We're going to be learning some new terminology. This one we're going to be learning about equilateral triangles, isosceles triangles, and scalene triangle. An equilateral triangle means that all the sides are equal. An isosceles triangle means that at least two sides are equal. And a scalene triangle means that no sides are equal. So you're going to look at these triangles on number 5, 6, 7, 8, look at their measurements, and classify them as either an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, or a scalene triangle, and write your answer below. After you've completed that, you can move on to numbers 9 and 10. You're going to write the answer to explain. Can an isosceles triangle have side lengths of 8 feet, 9 feet, and 10 feet? Tell me yes or no, and then write why. Number 10. If the measure of one angle in an equilateral triangle is 60 degrees, what is the measure of the other two angles? Write down your answer. That one you really have to think about for a second. Probably for me, I would draw out a picture to help me solve it, but I want to see what you come up with. In our next video, I'll post answers. That way we can check ourselves, and I'll show you how I got my answer. Good luck and have fun.